Oreo, no shouting. Oreo, come here, Oreo. Come. Shh. Come, sit here. ఎట్లా తెరిచిందో నువ్వు తెరిచి లైట్ గా తెరిచిందే అమ్మా. మనం ఇంకా మాట్లాడదు గురించి వచ్చింది.
Namaskaram.
Namaste, Guruji and Guruma. How are you all?
We're doing
We are
fantastic.
doing
How
fine.
about yourself?
Good, very nice.
Long
So I
time no see.
asked traditionally for you today.
Thank you again for the opportunity. And
It's pleasure for us to host you.
thank you. So I got the questions from you. So do you normally get questions ahead of time from people? Okay.
Yeah, I heard the questions, and also that is the reason I didn't prepare, because all of the questions what I wanted to ask, basic questions, are covered in the 16.
Mhm.
And I've gone through a little bit about you both and what you have done.
Mhm.
And also some of the people sent questions, so that is where I got 4-5 questions.
Okay, sounds good.
So I always give an opportunity to the audience also to ask questions.
Yeah, sure.
And some people already know you in Atlanta, and they are asking where can we watch and how can we watch. So I sent these links to whoever they ask. And typically I will also put this in my status now, so that at least, not to disturb, and they will at least see my status, and then they can.
Okay, sounds good. Excellent.
We have another 8 minutes, so
Yeah,
so I just typically keep things ready so that we'll be ready. We'll be comfortable, so to speak.
absolutely, yes. Absolutely, yes. Wonderful.
Maybe Guruji, if you see little bit, if you can move this side, that door can be cut.
Like this?
Perfect. Yeah, perfect. Now it's perfect.
Okay.
So Guruji, all these Rudrakshas has any specific significance on?
They do say yes, and there are different types of Rudrakshas, and each Rudraksha, the most common one has got 5 faces. That's the one that is very commonly found, and doesn't make it accurate. It's very powerful, though it is very just like air, water, fire, anything.
Panchabhuta, correct.
Yeah,
Represents Panchabhuta.
it represents the 5 elements. So, though like you'll find that water, air are freely provided by the divine.
Okay.
It's very it's available everywhere. Doesn't mean it is cheap. You see, but there are other phases like 21, 20, 19, 18, 17, like that.
And also
So-
Ganapati is there. Right?
Yeah, this is like a Siddhamala. So it has got from,
Okay.
so it has got even Ganapati and Gauri Shankar. I can kind of show it to you
Mhm.
close up. You'll see there are 2 Rudrakshas in one.
Yeah.
This is Shiva Parvati,
Okay.
and there is one that is Ganapati.
Yeah, this is Ganapati actually.
Not sure. You can see the
You
trunk.
see the trunk
Yeah,
actually.
there is some carving.
You can see
Yeah,
that. No,
yeah.
it's no carving. It's natural.
It's a natural.
Oh, okay.
Yeah, it's like a trunk.
It comes naturally like that, like a trunk.
So this one has got like 17 faces, 17 lines on it. So the more lines on it, the more expensive it is. And the least one, that is a single line,
Ekamuti.
is not available at all. If you get it, you are a Karodpati.
Oh, is it? Okay.
Yeah, the only one that is available is in Pashupatinath temple. Rajinikanth is rumored to have one.
Oh, is it? Oh, wow.
Yeah, you get it in Indonesia, but the Indonesia one is not considered that great. It's a Nepali one that is
Nepali ones
considered.
are considered very authentic and
So-
powerful.
So this is a Siddha mala. It's got like up to 17 faces,
Mhm.
and it's expensive. As the number of faces goes up, the cost of the Rudraksha can go up. Yeah.
I only know
Like
Ekamukhi and Panchamukhi and three. I think that's it. I didn't know that there are
oh
7.
yeah,
Yeah, yeah.
there are
There
4,
are
5, 6,
six
7,
is
8,
there for
9, 10.
Murugan, right?
This the small one that I'm wearing at the back is all 9 faces, but a
These are all
small
9
one
faces
for
Okay.
Durga.
for Durga.
Yeah.
So Guruji, before I forget, Guruma and Guruji, if you come to Atlanta, you have to visit us. So
Most
Definitely.
definitely, most
for
Of
definitely,
sure.
course, yes.
most
Definitely.
definitely. These Rudrakshas we got in Nepal, we are blessed to perform 4 Kailash Yatras back to back. 16, 17, 18, 19. And we had taken one group from Dallas in 17.
2018 and
17,
17,
17.
yeah.
So we had excellent darshan there. And there are 2 videos in YouTube on our Kailash Yatra also.
Mhm.
So probably because of COVID, we could not go for the last 2 years. But if he calls us again and China opens up, then hopefully we will
Absolutely.
perform the yatra
And
again.
Puramji, I just wanted to let you know that he will do all the talking, okay? He will walk the talk and I'll be here to support him. That's it.
Absolutely. I'll ask 1 or 2 questions to you as well so that you know the
No,
interaction will be.
that's
I know. I know. Guruji is yesterday itself. I found out there is no need for him any preparation. So he's already.
yes, exactly. Because I didn't even know there were questions. So
No questions will be there. Typically, I write the questions, but Murli also gave the questions. And typically, the main interest of my interview is only to understand what they do. How, for example, this school, right? It's a wonderful opportunity for people to learn, but people might not know. Everyone might not know. Even if one person know about this with my interview or with my flyer, I am achieved. So that's what I was just telling. I don't do this for viewership or getting money out of YouTube. No,
Yeah.
this
yeah,
is only to help Indo-Americans in any aspect. If they have any problems in India, then I'll bring some IAS officers. If someone like Guruji and you are achieved, so you are doing something to the people, right? So those people will be my interest, and that is where I started this, and people are liking it, and slowly I'm improving the concepts.
Very
It
nice.
takes a lot of time, Kurma. It's not easy.
Yeah.
Yeah, of course.
Back
Yeah,
and
yeah.
forth.
Lot
5
of
hours
time and
minimum.
hard work is needed. Yeah, of
Yeah,
course.
4 to 5 hours is required for this
Yes.
activity,
Yeah,
minimum.
yeah.
Now I am used to, so preparation is less because I just see and I get an idea and then I will talk. But
Oh,
before
very
it
nice.
would be like, more preparation. I'm scared, like Guruji comes, then oh my God, what he'll ask, what he'll tell, what should I ask? And now it's flow.
It's like,
Yeah.
yeah,
Every
yeah.
day is a
Very
learning.
nice. Very nice. Yes, yes.
I have my notes on my cell phone, so I might just sometimes be looking at my notes just to so that I don't stay too long on any particular point.
No,
Yeah.
otherwise
So
I
many
will poke
points.
him.
I
I will
think,
poke him.
Guruji, what our concept is to tell quickly on any concept and give more information about our school.
Yeah.
That is the
Yeah.
main agenda. You tell more about what you teach, what you that. The agenda is to make people aware of our
Aware
school.
of what is, yeah.
Exactly. And I will also try not to ask deeper questions because that will take more time. And if we want on separate one, we can do another videos as well. I'm open for that. Any help from my side, Guruji? Please feel free to.
All good. I think once this interview goes and you find if people are interested and they want to know more, we can have another
They will
one.
ask. They will ask me, and I will divert. And the only thing is, you give me an email so that I don't give your number to everyone. I don't want until you are okay to give. I will give. Otherwise, no.
Yeah, I will give it to you, and people can go to our website also.
Okay.
grdis.com. It's very simple.
And
Yeah.
and I will also add to you to one of my group where all whom I interview. So you don't mind.
Sure.
All great people will be there. They will not disturb with good morning, good evening, and all those kinds of stuff. They are very, very pleasant, and they don't. I also tell them that not to disturb. If yourself anything you achieve, please put the flyer. That's fine.
Sure.
Oh, very nice.
And just a request, I have got my books here, so if you can just mention about the books, I'll just show the books.
Sure. I'll
And
ask.
also the sketches, the actual sketches I've done for the covers.
Absolutely. I'll ask him, then we'll start off now. I think 6:59.
Yeah.
So my team is in India, the TV5 and Mana TV team.
Mm-hmm. Hyderabad.
We will start with an opening chant, okay?
Yeah.
Just to give an intro, just Gananatva Pramodivi Saraswati.
Yeah, ready. So once I introduce, you will give a chant, or how is that?
Yeah, sure.
Okay. Right. Yeah. Okay. Right. 7, 6, 5, 4, 2, 1, go. Welcome to TV5 and Mana TV. You are watching Insight with Praveen Puram live from Atlanta. As we do many shows on which is very useful to the Indo-American community, today we have a wonderful couple as our guests, Mr. Sri Ramesh Natarajan and Srimati Sridevi Gayatri Ramesh. So why they are on our show? What they are bringing to the Indo-American community? They are the founder of GRD Gurukul School and also Sri Amruta Chaitanya Mandali to impart free training to those interested in learning spiritual texts of Sanatana Dharma. So today we will learn more about Sanatana Dharma, how it is taught in a school with Guruji and Guruma. So typically Rameshji and Sridevi are called as Guruji and Guruma by all their Shishyas across the world. They have their students across the world from North America, Europe, Southeast Asia, and Australia, and all states of India. So to briefly and precisely introduce Guruji and Guruma, they have started this GRDIS Gurukul School. They teach the Sanatana Dharma without discriminating on caste, creed, or gender. They especially focus on women empowerment. Their free classes commenced in 2002 at their modest Canadian home, where the ambience and principles of the traditional Gurukul have been beautifully maintained in the foreign land. Their passion and dedication results in dramatic increase in the students in the last 2 decades. Sri Ramesh and Sri Devi, as I told, they are called Guruji and Guruma. They have a 4 to 5 classes include Vedic mantra, shlokas, Srividya Tantra, and performance of pujas and homas. They also have a global YouTube presence commenced from 2010 with more than 1,000 free training videos available with 50,000 subscribers. They have over 1,000 students directly learning from them all over the world. They are strong believers in the resurgence of Sanatana Dharma through women empowerment. They say from experience that the entire family learns from the women when the woman learns. They also did many of the pujas and also yagas. For example, the August 2019 World Shakti Day featured the ladies only Shatashandi Yaga. In 2020, they did Ugra Narsimha Trust. They performed the Maharudram and Shatachandi in Kerala's Mallapur district. And also they performed recently in Atlanta, that is Atirudram in Shangri-La in Atlanta. What a fantastic work you have been doing, Guruji and Guruma. I think I have introduced you on a high level. If I missed anything, please go ahead and you can introduce anything which you want to say. Over to you, Guruji and Guruma.
Thank you, Praveenji. We will commence with a short prayer.
Absolutely.
Om Ganana Antva Ganapati
Havaamahe Kavim Kavinamupamashravastavam Jyeshtarajam Brahmanam Brahmanaspada Anashrinvan Modibhisida Sadanam Om Shri Mahaganadhipataye Namaha Prano Devi Saraswati Vajebhir Vajinivati Dhinama Vitriyavato Vagdevye Namaha Shri Gurubhyo Namaha Harihi Om.
Shri Gurubhyo Namaha, Shri Matre Namaha. Once again, Praveenji, thank you for your very lavish and warm introduction to us. We are very honored and privileged to have been invited on your wonderful TV program. And thank you for this opportunity to talk about GRD Ayers Gurukul and Sri Amrita Chaitanya Mandali. GRD Ayers Gurukul came about naturally. Since 2002, I started teaching at my home, and we used to have a few students, and it was surprisingly the number of students started increasing, and slowly it grew, and it grew very rapidly. I would say post 2008, 2009, it started growing extremely rapidly. We went public on YouTube in 2010. As far as I recall, till that time, any individuals reciting Vedas or teaching Vedas were not streamed on YouTube. We are probably pioneers in that field, and it became very popular. And since then, we have been continuing on this noble path. And with the blessings of our Guru, we have been able to start the Sri Amrita Chaitanya Mandali for teaching Sri Vidya Tantra. We formally established it in 2022, but we have been teaching it for some time. So that's the Sri Amrita Chaitanya Mandali is the Sri Vidya group or Mandali within GRD IS Gurukul. We specialize in teaching Vedas, and we specialize in teaching Durga Saptashati and in Sri Vidya Tantra. So you can call it like the knowledge triangle with these 3 points. And if you do look around you, you will find that any major event that takes place, it takes place around recitations that are dear to Lord Shiva. So events like Maharudram, Atirudram take place, and then events that take place for Durgaji called Shatachandi, Sastra Chandi. And then you'll also find Sri Vidya or Sri Chakra Puja that is performed for Sri Lalita Mahatripura Sundari. Lalita Sahasranamam is very, very popular, and the deity whom we all worship through Lalita Sahasranamam is Lalita Mahatripura Sundari. And the puja that is done for her is called the Sri Vidya Navavarana Puja with the Sri Chakram. So with the blessings of Guruji, we also have been able to specialize in that. And all our students learn all of these 3 things, which, and to a great degree of excellence, I would say, because we breathe and live excellence in our teaching, and that's what we go by. And then slowly this has spread, and we do have now a huge YouTube following. Mind you, we do not solicit actively, and all these classes are free. The classes that we have been holding at our home prior to COVID, we didn't have Zoom, so we used to teach at home, and we used to stream those classes live. My wife is an equal partner in all my spiritual pursuits, in all my spiritual efforts, and students would come home, and all the classes are completely free, and we run it like a true Gurukula. So the students come home, they learn, and then we also share with them whatever food that we partake. If they come on weekend, whatever lunch, whatever dinner, whatever breakfast we have, we share with them. And even during weekdays, Gayatri ji is very much looking forward to the visits of the students and to feed them. And most of the students are working professionals, and they are all keen to learn. The most important thing is, what I have noticed in my experience is that the awakening, spiritual awakening, starts happening in the middle age. Usually after one gets married, and especially after one has children, and it's after one crosses middle age that the urge comes, and they're really serious about wanting to learn. So these working professionals from various fields like IT, engineering, finance, all of them well qualified and well to do, but they have a keen interest, and they come to our home and they learn. And now post COVID, Zoom has caught on, and now the classes are conducted on Zoom and streamed live on YouTube. Very important and highly specialized pieces or texts in Vedas like Rudra Ganapatam, Rudra Krama Patham, Mahanyasam, Achidram, Aruna Prashnam, many important texts are taught by us and
Mahanyasam.
and Mahanyasam, and it's learned by students at a grade level excellence. We also specialize in Durga Saptasati, and with the grace of the divine, we have also been able to publish Durga Saptasati in 6 languages: Telugu, Tamil, Malayalam, Kannada, English, and of course Sanskrit. And with God's grace, we also have been able to publish the Sri Chakra Navavarana Puja as per the Paramananda Tantram. We have published it in Sanskrit in February, and now we are going to release the same book in 3 other languages: Tamil, Telugu, and English.
Excellent. Guruji, I think this is a great journey, and you teaching the Vedas, it is really that too in a foreign land. So for every start, there might be an interesting journey, right? What made, first of all, I wanted to ask you a question. You both have learned Vedas before in your childhood. And what made you to start? There should be something to start this in the foreign land, right? So, and the significance of the name, you see GRDIFs, and there is a Gurukul. So definitely there might be some interesting story. That would be great if you can tell us what is it.
Oh, thank you, Praveenji, for asking that question. I'll start first with GRD Ayers, and I have an interesting story to tell. Um, we had immigrated to Canada in 2001, and I was working professionally. By the way, so that the viewers know that I'm professionally qualified, I have some finance and accounting qualifications, 8 of them actually, including CPA from the US and the CPA from Canada and an MBA from UK, and several other international qualifications. And I was employed as a finance professional. And at that time, Gayatri ji was looking after a small child, Durga. She was 3 years old, but she wanted to keep busy, and we said, let's start something. So we actually started making snacks at home and selling them. We call it bhakshanam, what we have in Diwali, right? Like murukku and
Just
things,
traditional South
traditional
Indian
snacks.
bhakshanams.
And we wanted a brand name for that, and we chose GRD Ayers. G for Gayatri, R for Ramesh, and D for Durga, our daughter, and Ayers is the name of our community name. So we started like that. Now the name stuck to us. The Gurukul name came because I started teaching, and people, I don't know, started calling me Guruji. And in 2015, there was a huge event in Canada related to Durga Ji, the Chandi Homam, and the event was completely done by our students, more than 100 of them. But somehow, I don't want to go into the unsavory details, but the event was presented as if it was done by another group. And the students were really livid that our efforts in teaching them was being projected as if someone else has taught them. Those who know about it know the history behind it, so I don't want to go into it. And all the students were up in arms actually and saying they want to boycott the event. And they came to me, and at that time I said, calm down. We are not doing this event for anyone. Anyone can say whatever they want. The truth is known to Devi. So we will focus on doing our job, which is performing the event. The students were really stunned that what they thought was like an open insult to me. I had taken it pretty calmly and coolly. So somebody called me Cool Guru. And Gayatri ji turned it around to Guru Cool. So normally you'll say Guru Kul, but there's a word play with that. Guru Kul became Guru Cool, okay? Because Cool Guru became Guru Cool. So the name struck, it became very popular. So thanks to Gayatri ji, and thanks to that student who called me the Cool Guru, and the name has stuck. People do call me the Cool Guru, and the Guru Kul name is also stuck. Now coming to us having learned from Vedas from childhood, not at all. My story is available in my website, www.grdios.com. If you go there, I have talked openly about it. I had no knowledge of the Vedas. I was probably a spiritual person, but I was not a religious person at all. I had no knowledge of any mantras. I would not go to any temples. I had lived in Banaras for 2.5 years in my working life, but I had not, visited the Vishwanath Mandir there, or even gone to the Ganga to take a bath. I was like that. And then I went as an expatriate to Tanzania, and we were working there. And 2001, we were to immigrate to Canada in June 2001. In April of every year, as we know, Ram Navami occurs. So in 2001, Ram Navami celebrations are happening in Tanzania too, in a temple, and I was roped in as a volunteer. And just before the start of the prayers, one senior gentleman called Sri Radhakrishnan, and I'll be forever be grateful to him. He forced me to sit next to him and take a Sundarakandam book and read. And I told him I don't know any mantra, I can't chant. But he insisted that I try and leave after 5 minutes if I was not able to. And not in a very happy state of mind, because I felt very embarrassed. I sat down and started leafing through the book. I'm sure I had probably then the grace of Hanumanji. I don't know what happened, but after a minute or two, I was the most fluent there, chanting the mantras. I was 33 years old then. I could not believe it. I came back home, and then I went back the next day because I didn't have the book. The temple had the book. So I went back to get the same book. I was curious what happened yesterday. Was it a dream? I found that I could read it very easily. So I read Sundarakandam on all the 9 days. And suddenly there was some kind of an opening inside me. Then I got interested in Vedas. And then I started looking up on my own, listening to them and chanting them. And initially I would just chant them as I heard them. I had no knowledge of swaras. And then once we immigrated in June 2001, I learned properly Mahanyasam from a local priest here called Sri Chandru Gurukul. And that kind of opened up the knowledge of swaras in me. And then I could find that I could very easily read very complex Vedas, and also was able to know the building blocks of chanting. And I made it available through a series of rules called chanting rules. And when I started teaching, I was also able to know from the students, from the way they were chanting, when they made errors, I was able to analyze and know what went wrong and where and how to fix it. And I was able to suggest some innovative ways for them, to certain practices for them in a way that would be able to fix their swaras or intonations for Vedic chanting, which are so very important. All of these are extremely unorthodox ways, but they were highly effective. So the good thing is, since I did not carry a baggage with me of coming from a very religious background, or coming from a family that was very probably, in a very had orthodox beliefs, I was free. And I felt suddenly that there were ways and means of presenting techniques that any person with no background of chanting, because I had not come from a background of Vedic chanting, I was able, with the grace of Mahadev, with the grace of Durga Ji, to be able to teach them. And till today, I have this strange feeling that it is not me, but it is a divine force acting through me to bring Vedas to those who have been denied the opportunity for learning Vedas, be it ladies and be it people from certain communities who have traditionally not been allowed to learn the recitation of Vedas. So it gives me immense satisfaction that we are able to share the learning of Vedas and to make interested people chant. My point is, we do not canvas for everyone to learn Vedas. But our point is, if anyone wants to learn, they have the right to learn Vedas as long as they maintain exacting and very high standards that are required. And that's our only condition. And with the grace of the divine, the grace of Shiva Shakti, we have achieved tremendous success in this. And the liberation and the happiness that we see when our members are able to learn and able to chant that they could not do before is the joy and the power that keeps us going every day.
Absolutely, Guruji. I think learning Vedas is not so easy. And it is amazing that you have learned at a later stage and you are so fluent and you are able to teach. So typically, the Vedas are learned by only Brahmin community, if we were to analyze, right? There is a restriction to the caste and creed on this. So how do you manage? And is it really necessary only that community need to read, or anyone can practice?
It's a very important question you raise. When you say only Brahmanas can chant, the first question is, who is a Brahmana? Now, what would be your answer? So let me turn the question around to you. If I asked you who is a Brahmana, what will be your answer?
My answer is definitely Brahmanas are from the hereditary caste, what they follow. And they are the priests, they learn the Vedas, and they are one who can do pujas in the temples and then impart knowledge. Highly knowledgeable people are the Brahmanas community.
So, we have to be, all of us are well read. Today is the information age. And answers are available everywhere. And the time has come to ask awkward questions and get straightforward answers. The first quality of a Brahmana is to tell the truth. A Brahmana should be like fire. And fire burns everything. And when I say about burning here, I'm talking about burning the untruths. Everyone, as per Sanatana Dharma, everyone is born a Shudra. Everyone. So, even in a Brahmin household, when the child is born, the child is technically a Shudra. Till Upanayanam is performed and Gayatri Mantra Diksha is given. Similarly, as per the Sanatana Dharma, Kshatriyas and Vaishyas. Kshatriyas are the warrior class and the Vaishyas are the business class. If you go by the Varna Ashrama, these Kshatriyas and Vaishyas are also entitled to Upanayana. The example stares us in our face when you look at the picture of Rama. Sri Ramachandra was a Kshatriya. Lakshmana was a Kshatriya. You look at Sri Hanuman. Hanuman was a Vanara. He's unfortunately called a monkey. He's not a monkey. A lion is not a cat. They belong to the cat family, but a lion is not a cat. Similarly, the Vanaras are a certain branch of that race. But Sri Hanuman was a Chaturvedi. Now we look at Lord Krishna. Lord Krishna went to the same Vedic school as Sudama. Sudama was a Brahmana, but Lord Krishna was a Kshatriya. Many people call him a Yadava. He grew up among Yadavas, but he was not a Yadava. He was a Kshatriya. Now the question is, when you're born a Shudra, everyone by default is a Shudra. So when your Upanayanam is done and the Gayatri Mantra Upadesha is done, you get the right to chant and learn Vedas. In those days, the profession of the Brahmanas was to teach, and they used to teach even the Kshatriyas on how to wield weapons. We know this from Dronacharya.
Mm-hmm.
We know about Kripacharya. Their job was to teach and live on the dakshina that was given to them, and they would not discriminate based on the background of the person learning from them, whether it was a king or it was a poor person. Similarly, the job of the Kshatriya was to defend the country The job of the Vaishya was to maintain the economy. And then the fourth category, the Shudras, were all manual laborers. At a point in time, it was hereditary, but each one maintained their own profession. And the Brahmanas were also sustained by the Maharajas and the Zamindar system. So they didn't have to worry about their income or for their food. They were well taken care of. Now, what does Lord Krishna say in Bhagavad Gita? He says, Varna is by your guna, not by your birth. What is your guna? You may be born a Brahmana, but if your interest is in making money, you are a Vaishya. So by birth, you are a Brahmana, say, after Upanayanam, but by guna, you are a Vaishya. Similarly, by birth, you are a Vaishya, and your interest would be in making money, but you want to learn the Vedas. So by guna, you are a Brahmana. So it is a guna that determines the ultimate nature and the ultimate varna of that person. Which means, if a person wants to learn Vedas, if the person is driven to learn Vedas, that person to me is a Brahmana. Anyone on the path of the Brahman means that God that you cannot define, beyond description. It's a very Upanishadic term, Brahman. It's attributeless God. You cannot describe that God. So anybody on the path of understanding that Brahman is a Brahmana. Yes, there was a system when the system worked, but the system collapsed. Once the kingly system collapsed, once the zamindari system collapsed. Today, what you see is a mockery of the system. The system is no longer in place. You will find in the modern world today, everyone generally is out to make money. And therefore, in today's system, we have to go back to the definition that Lord Krishna gave us in Bhagavad Gita, which is, what is your guna? So my question is, are all Brahmanas whose Upanayanam is done and who have the right to learn Vedas, are they learning Vedas?
I don't think so.
If they have to protect the Vedas, and what is the percentage of the Brahmana community? If you look at the population of India, it's 1.4 billion, they say, it's overtaken China. What is the percentage of Brahmanas in that? And in that percentage, how many are learning? How many are learning correctly? This is a very awkward question. So therefore, there are only Brahmanas on paper. And then we have members from the other communities, whether it be Kshatriyas or Vaishyas or Shudras, wanting to learn Vedas. Who are they then? In my dictionary, they are Brahmanas by guna, and the Shastras allow the right of Upanayanam to Kshatriyas and Vaishyas also. And therefore, the right of Upanayanam is there for all based on whether their nature is basically that of a Brahmana or a Kshatriya or a Vaishya. So, practically what I found in any family, though the father and mother can be the same, the Gotra can be the same, but the nature of the children could be different. And if you look in your own family or in any of your friends' family or relatives' family, you will see this. One is interested in making only money, though he may be born in a particular community, whether it's a Kshatriya or a Vaishya or a Shudra or whatever. One is interested in joining the army. One is more spiritual. So this is a practical reality. So while on one hand we preach and talk about Bhagavad Gita, we don't follow it in practice. Bhagavad Gita is only taught but rarely followed. This is a very sad thing. Bhagavad Gita is a very liberating text. It is not to be chanted. There is no benefit in chanting Bhagavad Gita, but there's a lot of benefit in following it. So we only chant it, we don't follow it. There's a lot of prestige and ego associated with a linear structure that the Varna system has become, which is incorrect. When one follows one's own nature, they offer the best service to society. If one is spiritual and can show the spiritual path, they're doing the best they can. If one can defend the country and give their life for their country, is the best that they can do. If one makes money and gives lots of jobs to people in society, they're doing the best they can to do society. But we unfortunately associate a certain class or a certain prestige or a certain ego and a certain nonsensical value of belonging to a particular community. Now, the cultures of those communities may be different. And you can celebrate your culture. For example, you say in our community we do like this, and you can celebrate it. But when you use it, when you're not, for example, let me make the argument very simple. Today, when you go to a hospital, God forbid, I don't want you to go to hospital. But if you want to get a treatment and a doctor comes and treats you, do you look at the race? Do you look at the gender? Do you look at the color? Do you look at the nationality? All you're worried about is, can this person treat me properly and take care of my body? If there is a court case, you'll go to a lawyer who can argue best for you and win the case, regardless of whether it is a man or a woman, or regardless of the race or background. My question is, when you're so particular about your body and you're so particular about your material interests, how come you're so careless in the matter of the soul? I have not been able to fathom this, but my conclusion is the DNA system of our entire community over thousands of years has developed a certain character that is very sad. And it's almost like you can't address it, because on one hand,
It is being celebrated actually.
it's being celebrated actually. On one hand, while let me not digress too much, the bottom line that I want to say here is 99% of the Vedas are gone. 99% of all the texts that we had are gone because the entire system collapsed. How do we bring it back? Whatever is there, how do we? It's like, for example, the tigers were all lost, and today, through heavy efforts of the government, Indian government, the tigers are back. So how do we bring back this? I'm saying these are dire situation. This is a dire situation. If a country, while defending against another country, has lost all its warriors, the women, children, everyone will pick up weapons to protect the country. So I think I may be painting a very dire picture, but it is true. Sanatana Dharma is very much alive through culture, but it is not alive through knowledge of mantras. Today, no one, it's appalling, the knowledge, the lack of knowledge that is there. 99% has been lost. So how do we sow the seeds back? My argument is, if a person has a license and will not drive or does not know how to drive, and there is a person who wants to drive and knows how to drive, what's the harm in giving the license to the person who knows how to drive and wants to drive? In other words, if somebody wants to learn the Vedas, why not teach them?
Absolutely.
And now when it comes to the matter of ladies have been denied Upanayana. Shockingly, I don't want to go into much detail, I leave the logic to you, that your Varna is decided by the time when you get your Upanayanam and Gayatri Mantra. So if you're denied Upanayanam and if you're denied Gayatri Mantra initiation, what are you by default? You don't have to answer me, you just have to use your common sense. So ladies, regardless of any Varna they belong to, have been always been discriminated against, but they're totally unaware about it. In our system, the child's Varna is decided by the father's Varna after Gayatri Mantra initiation. I'll give you an example of Ravana. Ravana is known as a Brahmana, but he was born to a Brahmana Rishi and a Rakshasi. But he's not called a Rakshasa. He's called a Brahmana, and he was a Chaturvedi. So his Varna was decided by his father. So the mother has no role to play. So this system, nobody has really understood it. And when I've asked questions, I have not found satisfactory answers. I find people beating about the bush. One of the answers that I get is, look, if there is a mango tree that yields mangoes, that mango tree is not going to give you an apple. So a Brahmana born to a Brahmana will be a Brahmana. A Kshatriya born to a Kshatriya will be a Kshatriya. But let's look at the proof of the pudding is in the eating. Say the father can chant Vedas, can the son chant? Say the one son can chant, can the other son chant? No. So where is it wrong? The thing is, this kind of a logic, I believe, cannot be applied. What can be applied to trees? What can be applied to animals? A lion's offspring will be lions and act like lions. But this is not true for human beings because of the law of karma. Therefore, my friend, if you see a Guna Brahmana, encourage him. My simple point is, if you don't want to learn, don't learn. No problem. But do not stop others from learning. Don't give wrong advice that you have been receiving possibly from your parents, grandparents, uncles and aunts, and they have been repeating what they have been advised over thousands of years. The same nonsense has been passed over years, and probably it stood the test of time because there is a system in place. But today it is not. Today it's no longer valid, and if we have to restore it, I think the only way to go about it is to identify Guna Brahmanas, also Kshatriyas and Vaishyas who want to learn, and share with them and encourage them to learn. And once you plant a seed, it will spread. And I believe women should learn, because it's when the lady of the house learns, she invariably brings a child and the man of the house to the class. I have yet to see a man bring his family to the class. There are rare exceptions, but almost every woman brings her family. So my argument also to the people who criticize me for teaching ladies is that when the lady comes, the man learns. And the culture is preserved in our Sanatana Dharma through ladies. The Shastras say that. I think if you follow our Shastras correctly, we will be successful. It will take time, but we'll be successful. But change is not easy. And I follow Mahatma Gandhi ji in this, who has said, be the change you want to see. So if somebody has to start something, and I believe if what we are doing is incorrect, it will fail. If what we are doing is correct, it will succeed with the grace of Mahadev, because what we have embarked upon is for a change in social thinking. In many ways, it is more about social reform than about spirituality. If you want to ask me a simple question, I'll say I'm more bothered about the social reform and the future. We will be gone in a few years' time. What about the future? If tomorrow my child or anybody's child converts to another religion, we are personally responsible for it. The other religions are doing what they have to do, but we have not done what we should be doing. If the child is not used to the sounds, to the smells, and the taste, and the environment, obviously it will drift. So when people wake up and they want the child to learn, I say, if you don't learn, your child will not learn. If you want your child to learn, come to the class too, but they're lazy. Generally, I'm saying, exceptions apart. I hope I have answered your question.
Absolutely. I think you have enlightened the entire story very well. So definitely coming to the point of the Gurukul. So what age students come to you, and what is the curriculum and the duration? And if you can throw some light on that, and it will be easy for everyone to choose what they wanted to learn.
Yeah. I can't give you a very simple answer. First, let's talk about the foundation. Someone cannot just come and say, I want to learn this and this and this. First, you should have a certain solid foundation of chanting rules, about the basic aksharas.
Mhm.
I mean, somebody wants to learn IT, they first have to know the keyboard, they have to know the laptop, they have to know what is connected to what before they talk about learning advanced programs. But many people want to do advanced programs without talking about the foundation. And when you don't have a foundation, the whole thing will start collapsing like a house of cards very soon. And so the first thing is there should be a solid foundation. Once that solid foundation, it's a common foundation, whether you want to learn shloka based chanting or you want Vedic based chanting, the foundation is the same. When it comes to Vedic chanting, it's a little more tough because there are swaras in it. When it's a shloka based chanting, it's only a tune and there is no swara issue with that. The issue with Vedic chanting is if you chant a particular swara wrong, the meaning can change because the swara has also a meaning. For example, if I say, please come, it's a polite request. If I say, please come, it's an order. So words might be same, but the swara can change. The intonation can change the meaning of the word. Therefore, there should be an adequate understanding of the importance of swaras and understand that also if you want to learn Vedic chanting. So generally, in our class, the ones who come to learn are middle-aged people, well-to-do professionals, middle-aged people who are really keen to learn and understand and are serious about it and can put time into it. Many people look at their time and watch. Those people can never learn. Second category of people who will never learn, in my opinion, again, it's my opinion based on what I have seen, who want to understand the meaning before they want to learn. Do you understand the benefits of swimming before swimming? You enjoy swimming, so you swim. You enjoy doing yoga. If I gave you a book talking about the benefits of yoga and you read about it and you are impressed, can you start doing yoga? First, the desire, when you saw somebody doing yoga and you want to imitate them, that's what drives you. It's not the benefits of yoga. That's, to me, a bonus. So therefore, people who are transactional, saying, tell me the benefit first before I put my time into it, honestly, in my opinion, will never learn. Because they're looking for magical benefits. It's like somebody going to the gym, lifting the weights for a minute and then looking at the mirror and showing their bicep and being shocked that there is no magical improvement in their bicep. It takes years to build your body. Similarly, something like a chanting, like a serious business, especially when we want to excel, takes time, takes effort, and a lot of pain. So general population in our group is made up of middle-aged people who are serious about what they want to learn. It usually does not have younger generation in it because most of the younger generation are busy with their studies. And to them, learning Vedas are the last priority. They would rather learn tabla, Bharatanatyam, or do something that's more more popular than learn something like this. And even if they're learning, this is the first thing they're made to give up. So when it comes to actual chanting, so once you have learned, we specialize in three things, like I said: Rudram, Sri Rudram, Durga Saptashati, and Sri Vidya Navavarana Puja, also called Sri Chakra Puja. Most of the mega events, as I mentioned before, that take place today, you will commonly hear the names, terms, Maharudram, Atirudram. It is done with the recitation of Rudram. One might have gone to Veda Patashala and learned for 14 years. But ultimately what matters in a Maharudram or Atirudram is a 11-minute chant called Sri Rudram, which is considered the most important piece in all of Vedas because it is present in all the 4 Vedas. So in my opinion, anyone who is able to learn a 11-minute chant perfectly has learned the essence of the Vedas. And that is the only chant that is chanted in, for example, Maharudram, you're supposed to chant 1331 times. In Atirudram, 14,641 times. This Rudram. If somebody learns this Rudram, they're doing an immense service. And it is in these mega events that the discrimination is done based on tradition, saying it is only male Brahmanas who are authorized to chant Vedas and others cannot chant even if they know how to chant. And in my, wherever I've gone, I've stopped going to Orthodox events, to be honest, for the last 10 years. But wherever I've gone, I've noticed inept chanting. That is, people who are authorized to chant, I found the quality to be abysmal. Generally abysmal. I would say 90% abysmal. But then there's no quality check because the general population does not know this and people are self-certifying. I know this. In our group, this does not happen. We certify people. Once they learn, they get a lot of grilling, and there's an independent team that hears them chant. And unless they are qualified, they cannot chant as a qualified person for the event. They can attend, but they cannot. So we have a certification system, internal certification system, all totally free. Okay. Then Durga Saptashati, so Chandi Homam. So recitation of Durga Saptashati of 700 slokas is the most powerful chant you can ever do for a Devi, for Durga Devi, and that we specialize in because that event also sometimes discrimination is practiced that ladies can chant but they cannot take part in the Havan or the Homam. So we train people in our group who have learned well to participate, and we also train them in performing homams as long as they have learned at a very good level and they participate in several events and they've shown their excellence. The third thing is the Sri Vidya Navavarana Puja, Sri Chakra Puja, which now we have integrated in all our events. Apart from this, any major event like Maharudram or Ratirudram or Sahasrachandi or Shatachandi requires a lot of other Vedic chanting, some advanced Vedic chanting. Not everyone can do that or needs to do that. So we have some senior students who are specialized in chanting advanced Vedas like Rudra Ghana Parayanam, Rudra Krama Parayanam, Jata Parayanam, Achidram, Mahanyasam, Aruna Prashnam, Udaka Shanti. They know all of it. And they know it to a great degree of excellence. I'll be embarrassed to let you know that there are several priests in India who are in our group and learning from us.
Oh my God.
This is the shocking state of affairs that we have at this point in time. So that's in brief, and all our classes are free. The only thing that we insist upon is that when any event happens, please come and attend the event and support it with your chant. I'm not talking about money. So what happens is we associate with inclusive groups. For example, if you saw the recent Atirudram that we did in Atlanta for Siddhashram, which is known as Shangri-La in Atlanta, Shankaracharya ji himself came from India to the event, and he was highly appreciative of all of us reciting Rudra Ghana Parayanam, Krama Parayanam, Mahanyasam, Achidram, etc. He was very much appreciative. So when we find groups or organizations like that inviting us, we go and perform. We don't take any money from them. Our people come at their own expense. We stay at our own expense. So this is a very unique model. Anytime any event is done, the first thing is money plays a big factor in it. So when we do an event, money is the last thing, and we do mega events at the lowest cost possible, because the single most expense in any mega event is the dakshina that is paid out. So since we don't take dakshina, the cost is zero, and the quality is very high. And the quality is because people come to enjoy whatever they have learned and to present it, and that's the joy of meeting fellow the members that they have learned with. So these mega events where maximum discrimination is practiced is what we promote in our group as a social reformatory platform where it creates a shock and awe. Praveenji, if you saw a group of priests chanting and you admired their chanting, would the thought ever cross your mind that I should also learn chanting? You may appreciate, but would you think I want to learn this? Or you think I can never learn this? Oh, these guys are experts. But if you saw me and my team and ladies and your friends, suddenly in 2 years learning and chanting, would you not also be inspired to chant and learn and chant? The thought will definitely cross your mind, oh, if this guy can do it, I can do it too. That's the catalytic effect that we have when we perform events, when jaws drop, when orthodox people come to sneer and to make comments, and when they see us chanting, they leave the place with the tail behind their legs. And people quietly back away because they know the quality of this team. And we are specialized in today in a certain type of presentation where ladies sit on one side, gents sit on one side as equals. Gents recite one line, the other line is recited by the ladies, and this goes on for the whole day. We have videos all over YouTube. You cannot find any. I have always told my students that anyone can criticize us for teaching ladies or for teaching non-Brahmins, but if they criticize us technically on that something is wrong, that will not be tolerable. Because any person, any priest, any person who is chanting as a Brahmana can make any mistake, but usually will not be censored because the internal audit system is very poor. Since I come from a financial background, I have to talk about this. Internal controls and internal audit is very poor. That is very strong in our group. So I say nobody should put a finger on us based on our chanting, but they're open to, they can criticize us based on their conditioning that, ladies should not chant, non-Brahmins should not chant. Before I close this subject, this term of Brahmin and non-Brahmin is something unique to South India. We should pause to think about it, how this term came about. Since the practice of Upanayam has all but vanished for Kshatriyas and these Vaishyas, they don't have Upanayam and hence are not considered Kshatriyas or Vaishyas, and they're clubbed with the Shudras. I'm speaking this very openly, and therefore the term Brahmin, non-Brahmin has come about. It's a terrible term. Tell me a Dalit who joins the army and sacrifices his life for the country. Is he a Dalit or a Kshatriya?
By Guna is a Kshatriya.
But he is called a Dalit. This is a sad state of affairs. Dr. Ambedkar gave us a constitution. He was a Dalit. Do you think a Dalit by definition who is supposed to be backward could have given us a constitution?
No.
What was he by Guna?
He's a Brahmana.
He's a Brahmana. But our society is so, it's sad. It's in a very sad state of affairs. It's a mental conditioning. It will shock you to know that I know that ladies of a particular community refuse even to offer kumkum to ladies from other communities. They think it beneath their dignity. That is the state of affairs that we are in.
That too in North America.
That too in North America.
And that's
The
what I
state
was
of
about to say.
affairs, the state of affairs is such. Today, Sanatana Dharma is highly transactional. The urge to learn is not there. What is there is people under the guise of spirituality are looking for a solution to their problems. They approach a person, can you do this homam for me? I've got this problem to solve. Can you give me a mantra that if I chant, I'll get a promotion or a job or a visa to North America? Now there are temples in India. You must be knowing in Andhra Pradesh. There's a visa temple. If you go to the temple, you'll get a visa to USA. It's pathetic. It's pathetic. So that's the state we are living in. It's highly transactional. So unless people see a benefit, they don't do it. My counter argument is, Praveenji, will you call yourself, if I asked you what your dharma was, I don't want to use the word religion, would you say I'm a Christian or I'm a Muslim or I'm a Hindu? What would you say?
I'll say I'm Hindu.
You say you're a Hindu. Now let me ask you, you are a USA citizen, if I'm not mistaken. Do you pay your taxes?
Absolutely.
Right? Now, I ask people, if you call yourself a Hindu, what is the tax you have paid? You call yourself Hindu because your forefathers and ancestors maintained that identity. What are you doing to continue maintaining that identity for the future generations? My point is, we are taking this thing for granted that Sanatana Dharma will be there forever. There's a very common argument that people say, Sanatana Dharma will be there forever. I don't agree. In the last 100 years, the amount of changes that have happened has not happened prior to that in the last thousands of years. People were still fighting with bows and arrows. In the last 1 year, the change that has not happened in the last 10 years. The change that happened in the last 10 years has not happened in the last 100 years. The last 100 years has been amazing. So the destruction also has accelerated the knowledge of the destruction of knowledge, the contempt for our Sanatana Dharma. So under 1200 years of occupation under the Mughals and under the British, people stayed true to their dharma. Forced conversions apart, people stayed true to their dharma. For example, there are several temples like Sri Rangam, where thousands of people stood in a queue to be beheaded so that they could buy time for the Vigraham there to be taken away from devotees to another place from the Muslim invaders. Today, that spirit is not there. Therefore, while other religions are spreading, and I have no problems with that, they are doing what they have to do. The criticism always is focused on the external factors. We have not paid enough attention to the internal factors. For example, I went to a certain temple in India. I don't want to name the temple because the same practice is in that temple and also in several
Many
religious
other temples.
orthodox institutions. That food is served separately for Brahmanas and food is served separately for non-Brahmins. Since I came in a kurta, they thought I was a non-Brahmin. And I was fiercely pulled. Okay, I'll take a step back. When we enter the temple, usually you'll find people out to catch foreigners and guide them. So I was pulled by my hand and made to stand in the Brahmin queue because that particular person saw me chanting Vedas in front of a particular shrine and then left. But there was another Brahmin priest who thought I was non-Brahmin by my looks, roughly pulled me and said, go to the other queue. I had no problems. I knew what had happened. I stood in the other queue. And the other guy who saw me standing there, he got horrified. He pulled me back again and brought me back to this queue. I saw this with my own. I have gone through this experience. Now I am thinking in 2023, this is a sad state of affairs. How is this continuing? Something very deeply is wrong in our system. It is like Nero playing the fiddle when Rome is burning. The established institutions that are supposed to safeguard our Sanatana Dharma, I'm sorry to use the word, they are inept. They've not done enough. If you talk to them, they stop talking about external factors and not talking about the internal reforms that need to be done. They will not do any internal reforms because if they do so, whatever has been preached or practiced over thousands of years will also be proven to be wrong. Therefore, my friend, the candle is burning at both the ends. Those who are supposed to learn are not learning. Those who want to learn are not allowed to learn. It's a very sad state of affairs. But if you follow the straight path, that is, whoever wants to learn, let them learn. If anyone can be a doctor, anyone can be an engineer and follow their heart's call. If somebody wants to be on the path of spirituality, who are you to stop?
Absolutely, Guruji. I just, on this topic, definitely I wanted to ask you, what are your future further acts on saving this Sanatana?
It's too big a word of saving Sanatana and all that. But I just follow Mahatma Gandhiji's. He's a maligned person today. Today has become very fashionable to malign Mahatma Gandhi. He was not perfect, but he gave me a mantra: be the change you want to see. Because I did not get any satisfactory answers from any quarters, I decided to do what I thought was correct. And with the support of Gayatri ji, she leads all the chants. I might be the teacher, but she is the one who leads all our chants, and she's a force to reckon with. So I've been blessed with a wife like her, and together we have been able to get excellent. We have been blessed with excellent students, real diamonds. Mahadev and Durga ji have blessed us with excellent diamonds coming from every nook and corner of India,
Of the world.
from Bihar, from Bengal, from Himachal, from Punjab. We have a lot from South, but I'm talking, it covers all the states of India. And when they chant together, you cannot say this person is coming from UP, this person is coming from Bihar, this person is coming from Bengal, this person is coming from Tamil Nadu, this person is coming from Andhra Pradesh. You cannot. And I encourage them to wear their local costumes, whatever is their traditional dress, so that we show unity in diversity. I do not insist upon a certain dress code. I say you celebrate your region's dress, but the voice should be one, because it's another Brahman, it's one sound of the divine that should come. So what are my goals? My goals are to spread and to talk about the rights of women to learn if they want to learn. I'm not saying that, I'm not forcing anybody to learn, but I'm only saying when anybody wants to learn, don't stop them. So anybody who wants to learn, we encourage them, but we hold them to extremely high standards. When you talk about your rights, you should also talk about your responsibility. If a military man wears a uniform and shows off, when the time comes to give up his life, he should be ready for it. Similarly, if you want to learn Vedas and be known for chanting Vedas, you better chant it correctly. And there's no question of 99.9% being correct. You have to be 100% correct. Because anyone who trusts you with the job of chanting and performing puja for them, you should rise to the occasion. So it is about the resurgence of Sanatana Dharma. The key to that, in my opinion, is empowering women to learn and to perform rituals, and to empower anybody who wants to learn in the right way. That, to me, is a single most change that we want. And once this thought becomes commonly accepted, we will see a sea change.
Absolutely.
This is my goals, and I use our events to promote this. We have come up with a unique concept called World Shakti Day. This has not been, announced by any UNESCO or whatever. I don't know any of these bodies, but it's our creation, World Shakti Day. We started it in 2018 with a Sahasra Suvasini Puja, where 1,000 ladies were worshipped as Devi, and we performed puja to them. And we were very honored by the visit of, say, Subramanian Swami. He also came and he also performed a puja to one of our students. And he openly talked about the rights of women to learn. His speech is available on YouTube, where he said the debate between Adi Shankaracharya and Mandana Mishra was decided by the wife of Mandana Mishra, which means she must be knowledgeable like them or even more knowledgeable than them. And she decided in favor of Adi Shankaracharya, the debate. So he talked about the rights of women. So the second one was even more daring. We did a ladies only Shatachandi. No men were allowed, including myself. Now, this was just to make a statement that when you can have a setting that is so commonly accepted that only male Brahmins can sit and perform a certain, and let them do whatever they want. Why can't we do what we want? So I said, we will have a certain presentation where ladies only will perform and chant the Chandi Homam. And I'm very happy to inform you that this year, on September 8th and 9th, we are going one step further. We have already announced ladies only Maharudram. This is the first time in the world ever such an event is happening where ladies will perform all the rituals, all the chants, all the homams to the highest of standards, including performing Veda, doing the Agni Mukham for starting the Agni using the Vedika Agni Mukham, including Shatpatra Prayogam, highly technical matters. So that we are going to do this September. So we have done year after year a World Shakti Day where we have promoted women. In all our events, it's women who lead the chanting, women who perform the pujas, women perform homams, but the quality is very high, technically very high. Okay, so we promote that, and we have performed Upanayanam for those who have learned Vedas, regardless of gender and regardless of whichever community they come from. Because we think it's correct.
Very, very nice to know. And where is this, the September 8th and 9th, which place you are conducting this?
Yes, this is being conducted in Canada. So we live in the state of Ontario and a city called Mississauga. So there is a temple here called Gauri Shankar Temple where we recently performed Maharudram, and the priest has been very supportive of our inclusive movement. He's a North Indian priest from Banaras. He has been very supportive. So we are going to be performing ladies only Maharudram there on September 8th and 9th. And on September 10th, we are going to perform a Laksha Modaka Mahaganapati Homa. 100,000 Modakas are going to be offered for Mahaganapati. We have already done it once before, so we are going to perform it again. And in November, again, we are having a huge program based on Sri Vidya Tantra, Sri Chakra Puja. I will be announcing details at the right time.
Absolutely. I think a great initiatives, Guruji. And in the interest of time, we are already past our 1 hour. So the final message, what is the message to the community and Sanatana Dharma, and how you want, what is the message to everyone, how to be participated in learning the Vedas?
Wake up, smell the coffee. What you're taking for granted is wilting and will be gone in double quick time. Learn. And if you don't want to learn, don't stop others from learning. That's my message. We have been talking, a very serious subject that is very dear to my heart. I want to end on a lighter note. For the interest of our viewers, I also I'm an amateur artist, and I've done the sketch for the covers of our books. If with your permission, I would like to share the books that we have published. Which by the way, it's all the work is done by our students. Okay. I would like to share the covers of the books and also share the sketches that I've done, which is also my passion. I've played second division cricket too, so cricket is also my passion. And I speak 5 languages. Hindi very fluently, Bangla very fluently because I grew up in there. Tamil, of course, that's my mother tongue. English, of course, and then Malayalam too. So God's blessings that I can get by in these languages. Okay. So do I have your permission to share those books?
Absolutely. Please go ahead, Elri.
Very quickly. So this is historical. Durga Saptashiti book as per Guptavati of Bhaskara Raya in 6 languages. The thing is, you will get this book, Durga Saptashiti, in all languages, but each, for example, Tamil, Telugu, Malayalam, Kannada, you'll get books, but they're all done by different publishers. So they are not uniform. You see, there'll be variances. But this book, whether you buy it in Telugu, Malayalam, Kannada, it's all the same, and the cover sketch is done by me. I'll share the original very soon. Actually, the sketch was done by me as a gift to my daughter on her first birthday, 1998, when I did not know any mantra, but I used to admire Durga. I grew up in Kolkata, Bengal, so I was a big devotee without knowing any mantras of Durga Devi. And that's so that's the Sanskrit version.
Very nice.
This is the Telugu version.
Mhm.
You see? This is the Tamil version. They're all very popular. This is the English version. And these books were presented to Sri Venkaiah Naidu when he was vice president. And he said, excellent work. And can you please also publish in more languages, including Bangla, he said. So hopefully we should be able to do that in more languages, including Marathi and Bangla. We'll see. And this one is in Kannada. The earlier one I showed was Malayalam. This is Kannada. And I'll share with you the actual sketch now, which was my present to my daughter on her first birthday in 1998.
Wow.
This was a sketch that I did.
Very nice.
And I never knew that what I had sketched in 1998 would make it to the cover of a book in 2022. Such are the ways of the divine. Now I'll share the Sri Vidya Navavarana Puja book. This sketch is also done by me, but this was done in 2022.
Very nice. So where can we get your books, Guruji?
It's okay. So I've got an interesting news to share. This was published in February and it's sold out. It's available on Amazon. All the books are available on Amazon, but currently the Sanskrit version has been sold out. The other books, Telugu version is very popular, has been sold out. And the Sanskrit version also. So some reprinting is due. But this same book is going to come out in July in 3 languages: Telugu, Tamil, and English. And those people can order. I actually published a video in YouTube today saying how one can order those books. Sorry, some malfunction.
That's it.
Yeah. This is the original sketch.
Wow. Very
And I
nice.
dedicated it to Gayatri ji.
Very nice.
The Lalita Mahatrupur Sundari. in
So
my
all
life.
the matas are the different forms of Durga, or how is that?
So this is Lalita Mahatrupur Sundari. So we have heard about Lalita Sahasranamam, right? So this is that deity. So in Tantra, especially when it comes to Devis, there's something called Dasha Mahavidya, 10 paths that can lead you to liberation. The most popular one by far, I think, in the south of India and also in most parts of India, is that of Sri Vidya. And that knowledge is of the Devi and whose blessings can give you liberation. It's a very heavy topic, but I would just leave it at that. So this particular book talks about how to perform the puja for the Sri Chakram. So all of you would have heard about the Sri Chakram or the Sri Yantra, also known as Meru. How to do the puja for that. It's very complex and it's kept highly secretive, and it is supposed to be proper initiation should be there. It should be learned properly, and there are many rules around it. Just like the way we have made chanting available to everyone, we have made this puja also available to everyone in a very simple way. So this book, I'm sure, would be a treasure. We have published a video today on how to order the book for Tamil, Telugu, and English. We have created a Telegram forum. Telegram is an app. So there's a particular forum we have created, but orders will have to come in by next Tuesday, which is the 20th of June, because we have to place a firm order on our publisher. We're not in the publishing business, so we don't keep stocks. So we have to, we keep 0 stocks. So whatever orders come in, those are the ones that we'll be bringing to North America and making it available to people in North America. Those who are in India, they can still purchase the book on Amazon India from August. Book will be available in Amazon India. We are trying our best to make it available on Amazon International also. If it comes on Amazon International, then of course anyone who is living outside India can also order the book. The efforts on this book and the prior book has all been our students, and that's why I'm saying we have been blessed with wonderful shishyas. And if somebody were to ask me, for over 20 years you've been teaching and you haven't made a single cent, what a waste, all I can say is God blesses us in various ways. One of them is to bless us with 4 Kailash Yatras from 2016 to 2020. 21 and 22, because of COVID, we could not do it. So when I look back upon it, there could be countless people having millions, and maybe we don't, but then we can always say Mahadev called us and invited us to Kailash 4 times, because he is one that never discriminates. Mahadev is one who never discriminates. If you see around him, Rakshasas pray to him, Asuras pray to him, the gods pray to him. He's always surrounded by ghosts, ghouls, spirits. To him, all are equal. When he does not discriminate, and me being his bhakta, I think when he saw that streak, he personally called and said, "Come, I want to bless you." That's the way I see it, and I can say that those 4 yatras were probably the direct blessings of Mahadev for whatever work we have done with his blessings.
I think definitely nothing is only money cannot be only evaluated. Our work cannot be evaluated only with money. Definitely, Guruji, the amount of work you are doing and spreading Sanatana Dharma, that is really fantastic. And I wish you all the good luck. And definitely, I wish all the viewers also to encourage Sanatana Dharma, and also, if at all possible, you want to learn, please register yourself, and then you can go to the website and learn, or you can email me, or I can divert to the right way to register. Again, thank you so much, Guruji and Guruma. Thank you so much. Have a wonderful
Namaskaram.
Namaskaram.
Thank you for the opportunity.